Well, hello there, travelers, and welcome to my YouTube channel. As you all know, Luna 5 or version 6.4, whatever you prefer to call it, will be out by next week. So let's talk about Varka, his DPS numbers, the polling order for the upcoming banners, and lastly, how to build Varka. So let's dive right in. For starters, Varka is the upcoming brand new 5-star character who is going to be a Anemo claymore DPS character. He will wield not one, not two, but three goddamn big claymores. Okay, jokes aside, he will be dual wielding two claymores and it looks pretty sick. The animations and everything are pretty cool and he's pretty fun to play with. Also, his skill hold will initiate a jump ahead and covers quite the distance, which is also pretty damn cool. But there is one big problem. Yep, let's address the elephant in the room, his DPS value. Now, Varka has received a set of buffs in the past few weeks, but even with all that, he barely hits 100 DPS value. Now, I am not a theory crafter or a damage calculator, but I have been following some renowned YouTubers like Flip and TGS, and I have concluded that he barely hits 105k DPS value. Now, that doesn't make him completely bad, it's just that he's not broken, he's a bit balanced character. Now consider the fact that his best in slot support Nicole is not out yet. So by the time Nicole comes out, his DPS numbers might go all the way up to 130k, but that is still less than other Nordcry characters like Flynn's, Nefer, and the White Horse Adeptus. Now, with all that done, is Varka worth your Primogems? And a simple answer would be yes, Varka is worth your Primogems. And the reasons are very simple. A, he's pretty cool and pretty fun to play with. B, his best in slot support is not out yet. And by the time she comes out, his DPS numbers will certainly go up. So he's future proof. And C, even though his numbers are bad, they are still enough to, clear pretty much every other content or endgame content Genshin has to offer. Well, now let's talk about the pulling order. As we all know that Luna 4 will have Varka and Flinch on phase 1, Skirk and Escoffier on phase 2, and the pull order is actually pretty simple. If you have either Skirk or Escoffier, then the other one becomes your top priority because Skirk is still one of the best DPS in the game. But if you don't have Skirk or Escoffier, but you do have Inifa, then Flinch becomes your number one priority. But if you don't even have Inifa or any characters that I've mentioned before, then Varka becomes your number one priority. And the reason is pretty simple. We don't know when Inifa will rerun or Columbina will rerun or Escoffier will rerun again, but we do know for a fact that Nicole will be out in either Luna 5 or Luna 6, which makes Varka the number one priority. Now lastly, let's talk about how to build Varka. Luna 5 will also present us a new boss which will end up dropping the essential materials for Varka. His regional specialty will be Wolfug, and as for his talent materials, he'll be needing a lot of freedom books and he will need the Ascent Sample Rook, which we can get from the Game Before the Gate weekly boss fight. As for artifacts, Varka's best in slot would be the brand new artifact set released in Nordcry, a day carved from Rising Winds. But you can also use Desert Pavilion, Gladiator Finale, or even Marichu's a Hunter if you run Fury on the Varka team. His stat priority would be Attack Sands, Attack Goblet, and Crit Damage Circlet. You can also use a Pyro Goblet if you're running him on the Pyro team. As for his weapons, now this is where it gets tricky. His signature weapon is a massive upgrade, adding up to 20 to 30k more damage. It takes him from 100k DPS to 130k DPS, but his other options are still pretty good. One of the best options he would have is Mavika's signature weapon, and the best F2P options he would have would be Tidal Shadow or maybe Wolf's Gravestone because it's available on the standard banner and maybe a lot of you have it. Now let's talk about teams for Varka. Before talking about his best teams, let me explain you what exactly does Varka need from his team. Now, Varka has a passive known as 4 Winds Ascension, and it goes, if there are at least 2 Anemo characters or at least 2 characters of the same element among Pyro, Hydro, Electro and Cryo, Varka will deal 140% more damage, and if both the situations are met, then he will end up dealing 220% more damage. So, it essentially means that on the best team for Varka, you need to have 2 Anemo characters and a pair of either Hydro, Electro, Cryo or Pyro characters. Now, on paper, this sounds like Varka has a lot of options, but actually, he really doesn't have much of an option. His best team, which gives 105k DPS value, is coming from a Pyro team. And as you go down to a Hydro, Electro or a Cryo team, his DPS value actually goes down. So that leaves us with only the Pyro team. So for an ideal Pyro team, you want to run Varka with Venti, Bennett and Durin. Now there are three scenarios here. Scenario number A, you don't have Durin, but you do have Venti. In that case, you might either use a Mauvika, a sub DPS Mauvika, a C6 Thoma, or maybe a Shangling. Now scenario number 2, you have Durin but you don't have Venti. In that case, Kazuha would be the best replacement possible and you will still end up getting the 105k DPS value. Now scenario number 3, and this is the scenario most of us are stuck in, including me, we don't have Venti or Durin. It sucks to tell you guys that the DPS value actually goes down a lot when you don't have these characters. But the best replacements possible would be Sucrose instead of Venti and a C6 Thoma instead of Durin. Now talking about his Hydro teams, the best team would be Varka, Venti, Furina and Kokomi. Now once again, if you don't have Varka, you can go for Sucrose, and if you don't have, Kokomi, then you can go for Mona. But in that case, you'll have to switch Sucrose to Jean because you need a healer to make use of Furina. His ideal Electro team will be Varka, Venti, Fistchel and Inefa, or maybe even Yansan. Both of them work. And you can also use Kazuha in case you don't have Venti. His Cryo team will be more like Varka, Venti, maybe Escoffier and Shenhe. And if you don't have Venti, then the only replacement available in this scenario would be Sucrose. Alright travelers, enough yapping for today. If you liked my video, then please drop a like and comment, and for more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. And all my fellow Varka admirers, keep the copium high, and I'll see you in the next one.